ॐ नमो नारायणाय ॐ नमो नारायणाय.
Misinterpret it. You cannot misinterpret in any way.
You cannot misinterpret a number, right?
Yeah.
So Dvatrimsat Trisatani, there's no way that can mean 335. It must mean 332. It's very straightforward. Yeah. Okay. So
and again, this again, if Sridhara commentary, Sridhara Swami commentary, or anybody's commentary, if it says Dvatrimshat Trishatani, it's also a crude formation. It's not a regular formation.
Oh, it's not a regular formation.
Yeah, you must say Dvatrimshad Uttara. Uttara must be added. More than.
I understand. Yeah.
And again, the third one, Trishatani, Uttara Trishatani, meaning okay. But if it is no, the word Uttara is not there, then you don't know how to form the word.
Okay.
Again, so another synonym, can be there to say Dvatrimshat Shatatrayam.
Oh.
And of course, that will mean something again something else. And Dvatrimshat 32, because we always say reverse order. 3 is 2, Trimshat is 3, that all you know. Yeah. Everybody knows. Dvatrimshat Shata meaning 3200. Then into 100, 3. So 3000, 3200 is 3200. Into 3 meaning 96,000.
Oh, but
so okay. That is also wrong. That is also wrong if you form like this. So what we must do is Dvatrimshad Uttara Shatatrayam or Trishatani.
Okay.
Again, Trishatani is not needed. Trishatam is enough. Singular in Ekavachanam is enough to tell you. So Trishatam cannot mean any way singular. 300 cannot be any way singular. So 300 is a big number. It should be a Bahuvachanam. But the Sanskrit word formation, it is enough if you need not say Shatani in plural. Trishatam is okay.
Oh, okay.
So what we call Samanya Napumsakalingam is the sutra, the Ashtadhyayi sutra, the formula, which says in a collective noun, you can use the singular.
Okay.
So that means again the word Shatani is wrong.
Oh, okay.
Again, as I said, wrong formation. But see, many people say language is for understanding. You don't put strict rules for talking in a language or writing in a language. Of course, while you talk, you may make mistakes. But while you write, you are not supposed to make mistakes.
Okay.
So that itself, the word itself is wrong. Trishatani is wrong.
Okay. Anyway, I will try. If you're interested, I will try to find. I don't have it right now, and we don't have time. But
commentary which contains Trishatani, you can send it to me.
Yeah, but not just the commentary with Trisatani, but also the explanation by Jiva that it becomes 335 magically. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay. And again, whether if it is in Sanskrit, that will give us more light. Whereas if it is in English or any other language,
yes, of course, then, in Sanskrit. Yeah, of course, in Sanskrit.
If you arrive at 335 by any other language, it will be wrong.
Yeah, but had you heard of this problem before? Some people say, because the Madhvas, especially Madhvas, they don't. There's one part in Bhagavatam 10th canto, Dasamaskanda, where Brahma is in some illusion. He takes away the cowherds, all the gopas and the cows. He steals them. He steals them. This is one year. Yeah, this is one, but we all accept this as a Leela of Krishna, but this is one of the chapters which is not accepted. So
And
but the Madhvas
I
don't like this chapter because they take their sampradaya from Brahma. So it's like saying our sampradaya acharya is has some illusion, you know.
So Brahma should not be blamed according to them.
Yes, according to them,
And
Brahma should
again,
not be blamed.
and again, we must all make sure that whether there are 3 interpolated chapters or less than 3 or more than 3.
Right. But you never heard that
Otherwise, the calculation will not come to 335.
Yeah, but you never heard that there was a difference in the Bhagavatam between different people, different
No.
sampradayas. I mean, it should be the same for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
But editions, as we have editions, will have differences.
Right. So,
Because
for example, with Mahabharata, we have the North Indian edition, and we have the Kumbhakonam edition, and there's some differences in readings. And then the Bhandarkar Oriental Research Institute in Pune has made the critical edition.
BOR,
Right. I was going to check the Mahabharata also for the Vishnu Sahasranama and see which reading is coming in the critical edition, whether it is Madhva, Ramanuja, or Shankara.
I mean, you know, the body of Vishnu Sahasranamam is from Vishvam Vishnu Rashatkaro to Sarva Praharana Yudha.
Yeah, even
and
beyond that,
even
the Palashruti will come in Mahabharata.
The rest of it, namely Shuklam, from Shuklam Vardhan to Chayayam Parijat, there are all additions. They are not available in. Again, I think the Palashruti from Vanamali Gadishangi is not available in Mahabharata.
Well, I think Itidam Kirtaniyasya is there. I think it's there. Yeah. Okay.
And maybe Sri Ramaramiti, it's all not there.
No, that won't be there. That won't be there. Panchayuta Stotram, Dwarasanama Panjaram, none of it is there. That is not there.
Right.
Yeah.
And Lifco edition tells you that clearly these are all not available in Mahabharata. These are all available in Mahabharata. Clearly tells you.
The small edition you gave me. This one.
Yeah.
I'll keep it. Yes.
So this will give you clearly that some portions are not from Mahabharata.
Right. How do you count the number when we say Srimad Bhagavatam has got 18,000 slokas? But we know it is not. It has more than it has. Also, not all anustup. It's all different meters, right? So, does it mean that we count each and every verse, 18,000 verses, or does it mean we have to? Somebody says we have to divide up into aksharas, and then divide by 32 syllables.
Right.
Is that what is the system of counting?
The answer to this question is one of my colleagues, an English professor in the college, wrote it personally by his hand, and then found out that there are no 18,000, only 17,000 and odd. Number one. So number two, it is not a question of 17,999. No, it is something less. Some numbers less. Then second point is there are so many prose passages. As you said, if you calculate by the scale 32 syllables, we cannot do it in the prose section. We cannot do it in the prose section. So, for example, in Mahabharata also, generally we say 1 lakh verses. But today there is a change in the concept, 1,20,000 verses. And again, prose passages, a lot of prose passages. That will be included in 1,20,000. In the same way, so suppose we calculate only shlokas, that is verses, poetry. Then prose, if you take it to consideration, that will, I think, it may come to 18,000. And again, as you said, just like interpolations, there are some extra verses in sometimes in each chapter. And therefore, again, for example, one example is from Nalayada Divya Prabandham, 4,000 Divya Prabandhas, where sometimes 10s are there, and then 11s are there, 12s are there. In that way, some extra. So, because we are not interested in calculating, but with regard to 4,000, Swami Vedanta Jajika has clearly said which Alvar has given how much number in his Tamil works. Then when you calculate, then it comes to exactly 4,000.
I understood that it comes to exactly 4,000 if you include Ramanuja Nutrandadi.
Right.
But Ramanuja Nutrandadi is not by the Alvars.
Yeah. But consider Alvar, when we say, it's a general term which means a deep devotee. That's all. And that's all. So, of course, Alvar and Alvan has got a difference. So, when we say Alvan, it's Kurat Alvan, and Alvar is the 12 apostles. Here,
but getting back to the point about Bhagavad Purana.
Bhagavatam, right.
Yeah, we know, like, for instance, Ramayana, there are 25 lakh verses.
24,
excuse me, 24, because it represents Gayatri. Right. So there are exactly 24,000 verses in Ramayana. So it's perfect.
No, again, there are interpolations. Prakshipta Sargaha, we call it in Sanskrit. And again, one recommendation by Sri Vaishnavas is we are not supposed to read the Sarga canto where Agastya, the sage, advises Rama to worship the sun god. Though yesterday we have been saying that the sun god he contains all the gods, and so we are not to worship, because sun god is a demigod according to Sri Vaishnava Pradaya. Therefore, so that means when we avoid even recitation of these, so we must exclude them from the. It will not come to 24,000 also. It is my guess. It's my guess, but calculation by. So with all, we must say, with all interpolations, this is the number. Without interpolation, this is the number.
Okay, so just to be clear, there is no system where you take the aksharas and you add them all up and divide by 32.
Right. You cannot divide by 32, as you said. There are other meters also.
Right.
So according to the epic definition, so each canto will end in different meters.
Right.
And again, the same thing with the Mahabharatam and Bhagavatam also. Of course, the definition was based on these epics only. Not the definition does not restrict these epics, because it's also called Asha Prayoga.
So Asha Prayoga, right? So we have to take whatever people have written, even if he contradicts Panini because he's a great poet or acharya, it's okay. We have to accept it. But the
shlokas, as we say, containing 32 aksharas, are different from the ending different meter verses. So different meter verses will have more aksharas, and you can't divide it by 32. 32 is not a standard scale.
Okay, so that's not a standard thing to do that. He says that is a standard way of trying to. I mean, he's trying to come up with 18,000, but he doesn't come up with 18,000. He says if he does it this way, he gets 1.5 slokas difference or something. He comes so close. But
Ramayana, as you said, you have brought the point also. And then Ramayana also contains 3-lined verses. So sometimes you don't find the full stops, double full stop at the end of the second line. And that is 16 plus 16. So you have got 48 aksharas for a single verse.
Okay.
That's right.
All right. Okay. So yeah, so again, there's an interesting point that he makes in that he says that that no, there's only maybe only the Balabhas, only maybe one acharya out of so many 20 has actually tried to refute that there are these three. The others have said, well, we don't consider these but to be authentic, but still some of the acharyas make a commentary on it. There's one, this Veera Raghaviya, which is one of the Sri Vaishnava commentaries on Bhagavata. He said he makes commentary on some of those verses in those three chapters. And some people say, some of these acharyas, they say that okay, we don't accept necessarily we accept it as an addition, but we're going to, because it's popular with people and it is about Krishna's pastime, still we're going to make some commentary on it. But Madhva has never made a comment on it. Madhva didn't make a comment on it, but he also didn't mention that it's not there. So, I mean, that's a negative proof. We can't prove that it was there at the time of Madhva. And I always thought that Madhva was before Sridhar Swami. So Sridhar Swami to me was after Madhva. But this fellow, he says Sridhar Swami is the first commentator. Of course, Ramanuja didn't comment. And many people say probably because the Bhagavatam was not a fixed text at that time. It wasn't canonical. And we have Vishnu Purana with Vishnu Chittiyam commentary. So only after Ramanuja do we find people doing commentaries on the Bhagavata. And the first commentary to me is Madhva, and he doesn't comment on these three chapters. But this fellow says that the Madhvas don't like to comment on these chapters because it is against their philosophy, is that when Krishna kills an asura, the asura goes to hell. But other Vaishnavas like Sri Vaishnavas and Vallabhas and Gauris, they say when Krishna kills an asura, that asura goes to Vaikuntha.
Yeah.
So because Dvaita Vedanta says that they go to hell, he doesn't want to
Jivatma and Paramatma are different.
Yeah, and also that Dvaitins have Brahma as the head of their sampradaya, not Lakshmi or Kumara or whatever. They have Brahma. And they say there are verses in the Bhagavad where Krishna or Sriman Narayana makes a promise to Brahma that he will not be an illusion. And yet there is this story where he gets bewildered and he gets an illusion, and he steals away the gopas and the cows.
You mentioned yesterday that the stealing of cows is not mentioned in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not accepted in the.
It's in the first chapter is Agasura, killing Agasura. The second chapter is Brahma Vimohana Lila, where Brahma steals the cowherd boys for 1 year and the cows. And the third one is the prayers by Brahma afterwards, when he says sorry, that when he begs forgiveness for being an illusion. But they don't like these two things, that Brahma should be an illusion, or that he should be an illusion, or that these asuras should go to Vaikuntha. They should go to hell according to Madhva, because Madhva is very happy to see people go to hell forever. That is one of his.
One more exact point that I forgot to tell you. Now I remember. You can't. I mean, you have to give a different word for 335.
Right.
You must say Panchat.
I looked it up. I looked it up, and it says Dvatrimsat Tri Satam, as you said, Tri Satam.
Right. No. What I want to say is, if you want to say 335 in Sanskrit, you must say Panchatrimshat Uttara Trishatam.
Right. You must say that Panchatrimsat. Yes. Exactly.
That means
easy.
So this word Dvatrimshat will not apply to 335.
Okay. Anyway, you look at that PDF, because he insists there that by some manipulation of Panini Sutras, his Acharya has come out with 332 in some way. I don't know how. But is it conceivable that if somebody doesn't do a commentary on a particular section of a shastra, some acharya, the first acharya who gives a commentary doesn't make any commentary, is it conceivable that is not that section is not there? If we have a text, maybe the text is not settled at that point.
That's right.
So usually if there's absolutely no commentary on that section, but acharyas, they don't do commentaries on every verse. But is it possible to not make a commentary on 3 whole chapters? I don't think. There should be something.
So, yeah, as you said, they are not available to them.
Yeah. So it's a different reading. Must be a different reading that people have.
No, the different reading, it should have come later.
Yes, the different reading came later. In other words, the original reading is we should take from the first commentator chronologically. He is the first person to comment. That's why I say Madhva is probably the first one to comment. But they say Sridhara Swami, but Sridhara Swami, and the problem is the Gaudiyas, Chaitanya has told them they must follow Sridhara Swami. They must follow, even though he's not really a Vaishnava, he's more of a Advaitin. So, but still, they follow him because they believe him to be the original commentator.
Right.
But I think he came after Madhva for sure, in my opinion.
Right. If you want, I will just take it up in 1 minute. The Srimad Bhagavatam book, and if you can tell me the whole, I'm seeing, of course, astonished on seeing the discussion on 332, 335. But only one word is there mentioned in Sanskrit, namely Dvatrimshat Trishatam. And that will not definitely give number 335. And Srimad Bhagavatam, anywhere, even the commentator must have mentioned in Sanskrit Panchatrimshat Trishatam. Otherwise, we cannot accept it. Whole argument becomes false. It is not to whims and fancies of the commentators, and of course he has given a list who has translated in. The list of commentators is available, and who has not given commentary and who has given commentary, and who are the authors. Exact details are there. But where is the word for Panchatrimshat? Panchatrimshat, where is the word Panchatrimshat? Pancha, where is that word? Is there in the Sridhara Swami commentary? Then that must be quoted in order to support the author's view. The whole 51 pages. In the 51 pages, I don't find, in all the 51 pages, I don't find the Panchatrimshat. No, though the interpolated chapters can be accepted by commentators, even by the readers, by the devotees, nevertheless, the 332 stands, not 335. Well, it is our own volition. VOLITION. We have voluntarily we can accept all these 3 interpolated chapters because they are interesting.
Yeah. So Swami, basically you're saying that if we accept the number Dvatrimsat Trisatam given by Sridhara Swami, if we accept that, then we have to reject all the other arguments, don't mean anything. Right?
All 51 pages are
yeah, all the 51 pages are null and void. Okay, but what if we do not accept Sridhara Swami? What if we reject Sridhara Swami and we don't have any number at all?
Right.
Then we have to look at some of these other arguments, right? Isn't it?
No, see, any author who has given commentary in Sanskrit should mention the word Pancha. Otherwise, you cannot take any support from any other author.
Okay, but my question is, What if none of the
Venugopalan Swami can-
none of the commentators have mentioned the number of chapters,
Right.
but they have. But let the first chronologically, Madhva is the first commentator, and the Madhvas definitely they don't accept, and the Balabhas definitely they don't accept. They say 332 chapters. And other people say, okay, we don't know if it's 332 or 335, but they don't mention any numbers.
Right.
So is it, do we have to look at all the commentators to see if they have mentioned any chapter number, or is it, should we take the text as it is coming from the original commentator, the first commentator?
No, let us not worry about the chronological age of the commentator. But if any commentator, whether it is even, I would accept even without Sanskrit language, even in some other language, if he has mentioned 335, suppose in English also, if you say 335, I mean, even you or I say Tirunarayanan has mentioned 335, meaning you can accept it. But there is no evidence. There is no evidence at all. So that argument is false. And only one advantage is there, concession or rather advantage is there, that we can read those 3 chapters. No problem. We can read. And again, as you said, the Brahma stealing cows, and these are all interesting incidents in the life of Lord Krishna.
So just so the way the Sri Vaishnava commentators have taken it is they haven't entered into whether it is 332 or 335 number of chapters. They simply say these stories are accepted as popular stories about Krishna. So we'll make some commentary on it, but we don't say that it is a part of the original Bhagavatam. That's all.
Right. This is how we must understand. But why this argument? Why this author quotes so many authors?
Because specifically he is upset because this one Balabha commentator, Giridhari Lal, has called his Acharya, Jiva Goswami. He has called Jiva Goswami as wrong and bad for saying that this is part of the Bhagavatam, these 3 chapters.
Okay.
So he feels he has to fight on behalf of his Acharya to justify his Acharya's stand.
The 2 points are there. When we love more Krishna, we can include those chapters. When we hate other authors who say 332, we can add these chapters. As Keshavdas Swami said, because his Acharya is insulted by bad words, so he wants to support his own Acharya. That's a base for accepting 3 more chapters.
So thank you, Swami, for looking at that article.
Suppose Keshavdas Swami, suppose this author said, in order to support my preceptor, I argue on these lines, then we can accept. But simply saying that I form a theory which is not acceptable to all, it's not right. You say the reason why you must accept it.
It's not his theory. His Acharya in his lineage from 500 years ago has said this.
That's right. No, this is in English.
But the person who wrote the English is a Sanskrit scholar, an Indian Sanskrit scholar, who is coming in the lineage of Jiva Goswami.
Oh.
And he wants to support the opinion of his Acharya 500 years ago.
Then do you mean these 51 pages are already in Sanskrit?
No. He has written in English a summary of if you do you want me to get the Sanskrit? I can get you the Sanskrit, and you can look at the Sanskrit.
Right.
that this
And
is
that
based
more
on.
important. Yeah.
That is
yeah.
more important, I think. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So we'll have a second portion to this debate, explanation or examination. Once I get the Sanskrit commentary, you can look at it and you see if he has any good ideas from 500 years ago in Sanskrit. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's no problem of accepting these 3 chapters, not as original, but as interpolations themselves.
Yeah, as interpolation.
Reading and enjoying the sports of Lord Krishna is not a bad.
So not all interpolations can be considered bad.
Yeah.
Because they tell us some story that we've heard about Krishna from before, and even the acharyas may give some meaning to them, and that may help us to understand them and to have more. So that's it. They can be good also.
PhD degree or such research degrees are involving these kind of arguments. Then we don't respect those arguments for the sake of degree. So, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Swami.
Om Namo Narayanaaya. Om Namo